I've got a few things out here on my desk. Some Brutus Monroe embossing powder, the embossing ink. I have the stamps that are the new feature that'll come out on September the 14th. This is a really cute set. It's part of the other set as well. This is from one of the Brutus Monroe's scrap packs of paper. This is from one of the Brutus Monroe's mixed media pads. I thought it was kind of a neat texture, and I want to work with this mummy stamp, and I thought this kind of reminds me of the gauze. This is one of the digital download papers from Brutus Monroe. I thought I would do something with that. Before I started the video, I just took a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock in black and cut it down to 6.5 inches, so I have a 6-inch card base. And I'm just going to sit here and play, and you can come along for the ride. What I want to do is, I know that I want to make my little guy here into a framed guy. So what I want to do is make this frame that he's going to be put on. And I'm going to do that using my Sizzix die cutter and a die. I got that here. Voila! It'll be extreme close up. And I've got to do a couple things. What I want to do is I want to cut out of cardstock a frame that I'm going to use on the front of the card. And then I also want to cut out of fun foam a couple of frames. I'm going to use those fun foam pieces here in just a moment. So I'm just running this through one layer. I have all my pieces. So there is a frame. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. And save your other pieces, because that's a good frame for using later on. I have already pre-cut down some fun foam to a smaller size so that it'll be easier to manage. And I just lay the fun foam directly onto the die, the thicker kind of fun foam. There are usually 2 different thicknesses that you can get when you go to a hobby store. And this was the thicker. And it cuts it really easily. See, pops right out. I'm going to cut one more. Like so. Alright, I'm going to get this out of the way. So I have my frame, and I know that my little guy will kind of fit in there. So now I need to stamp him on a piece of paper that's going to go behind the frame. And I want to stamp him. I may do a test run. I'm going to stamp him in this embossing on top of the black. And let's see how that turns out. So I've got the embossing powder here. Embossing ink. So we've got this on a acrylic mount. Alright, now I think what I want to do is stamp this guy right about here. Press firmly without rocking the stamp. lift straight up. And then I've got a scrap piece of paper. You can use a embossing tray, whatever you want. Just for this one, I'm going to sprinkle the powder over and then tap off the excess. If you have a lot of static cling on your paper, you can use a anti-static bag or make your own out of talc powder, and that'll keep the embossing powder from sticking. Just want to put this back into the container. All right. I'm going to use my embossing tool, heat tool, to heat this up. Be right back. So this little guy's been embossed. And I know that I want him cut. So I'm going to go ahead and cut him now because I want to embellish him and I don't want to have him messed up in my cutter. Oops. Going for a ride. Alright. I know that I want to cut this down. I don't know why I get the big cutter out when I have a little one. I guess I'm used to using it. Alright. How many of you have multiple paper cutters? I think I counted the other day and I have about 7. I've inherited a few. My friends give them to me whenever they get out of the paper arts or they get a new one or whatever the reason is, I end up with them. And I buy some. That pink one, that's probably my 3rd one of that brand, of that size. I've got the little one here that I like a lot. Alrighty. So now I know that's going to fit behind here because that's important for my later steps. And I want to embellish inside of here. So what I want to do is use the embossing powder again. And I have this little bat stamp. I'm not really sure. Let's see, Delafield Stamp Company. I don't know how long they've been around, but it's a cute little bat. I can't pass that up. I got to use him. So I'll stick him on here a few times. You may not see all of it, but it'll be on there a couple of times anyway. Some embossing powder. He has eyeballs, but the eyeballs are not real easy to see, so I want to fix that. I probably won't be able to get them on my finger. A little eyeball. So, because they're tiny and hard to get a hold of, this is called Embelly Jelly. You ever seen those little stickery boogers that come in like with your credit card offers and whatnot? Well, that's what this stuff is. It's a little sticky, gooey stuff that you put on the end of this stick. I'm just reactivating the stickiness of it. And so now that stick is sticky, and I can push gently on that, and I'll be able to place it on here and not have to fight sticking it down. I'm going to drop a couple of drops of glue. It's just plain white glue. And then there he is. See? Let those dry. I put mine right back in the package, and I have it hanging here so I can reach it. I think I want to color in some of this area and give the cell phone here some definition. So I'm going to do a couple things. I've got some chalks, and I have some gel pens. So I think I want to do like a bright teal color on the cell phone. Oh, gotta get it started. Alright, I have some chalk. I think he needs I just have some, these are called the finishing chalks, the real ones. I have had these for probably, I know, 15 years, if not longer. As you can see, they don't seem to go away. I'm just taking a Q-tip and I'm going to just rub. I thought if I made him just a little bit purple, he'll have some of a purple hue to him. Alright, this is starting to come together, so that's going to be on here. Kind of see how that's coming together? Alright. We need to do something about this because it looks rather plain at the moment. So I think what I want to do is I want to give it some texture, and I'm going to do that with an embossing folder. I like this wood grain, so it'll make it look like he's in a wooden frame maybe. So let me get my big kick again. Fold out the appropriate now that's got some texture. So let's add some color to this. Let's use this Suede by Brutus Monroe. Piece of black to stamp Spooky Selfie on. They look pretty close to the same. So I'm getting all of my layers together. See how it's coming together? All I need to do is I need to put these together. I'm going to use some adhesive. Okay, this is the way I want it. My ATG gun. I'm going right next to the edge of this frame on the inside because I'm going to make a shaker card. And I don't want any of my little bits to get between on the frame. So that's why I'm going to the edge. Before the video, I took a piece of transparency. I buy my transparencies at the office supply store. You can recycle a glassine envelope. There's all kinds of places that you can get a piece of transparency. And what I'm going to do is this is going to go on the back side of the front of the frame. So again, I'm going to put glue on here. And make sure that I'm up far enough on the frame. Okay. There's that side. So we got to go right up against here again. Alright, let's do this one more time. There is a top and a bottom. This is the bottom. This is the bottom. Okay. I'm trying to line this up so you don't have too much of an overlap from the frame. There we go. Because you really don't want to see that inner frame. There. And I did this wrong, but that's okay. We'll figure this out. You and I together. Alright, and I want this to go in here. Like that. But I want to put some goodies inside. And I should have glued this on here and then poured my goodies in so that they would not spill everywhere and I could see what I was doing. So what I've got here are some spider confetti. Some glow-in-the-dark ants. I gotta put them in the right side up. What do you think? One more. There we go. I've got do we need a little bit of color? Nah, we'll do these. I've got these little stars. And then how about some little beads that make noise? These are little glass beads. And then everything needs glitter, right? Yeah. Glitter, just some glitter. Alright, so now we're going to go around this. Alright, here comes the tricky part. I got to figure out how to get this lined up where I can see it, because like a goober, I filled this the wrong way. But it should line up pretty perfect because I cut it to the right size beforehand. So I'm just going to hope that I did this right. What do you think, y'all? Isn't that cute so far? Alright, so now I need to start assembling the card, putting all the components together. So let's get that going. Alright, I'm just going to use my ATG and adhere the Brutus Monroe digital downloaded paper. I don't usually use the ATG gun, but since I'm using text weight paper, because I printed this on my laser printer at the office because my inkjet printer wasn't cooperating and it wasn't giving me a very good print. And my other printer doesn't like the cardstock. So anyhow, when I'm using thin paper, I don't like to use white glue because sometimes it will shine through. I think what I want to do is tear this. And we'll put it. Yeah. So again, since this is a thin paper, the ATG doesn't even want to stick to it. Wow. It's so delicate. There. I think I want to use a... I think what I want to do is attach these. Yeah. One more. Alright, so since this is going to be on top of that card foundation, there's lots of layers, I'm going to use some really heavy duty, what I call white glue. Alright. The word spooky selfie, I think I want on pop dots, so I've got a couple of little self-adhesive pop dots here. And then lastly, I have some store-bought spiders. I thought, these are too cute, I can't pass them up. I thought I have to put some of these on here because they're just darling. They needed to be included with this card and what was going on with it. Don't you think? Isn't that darling? Aren't they cute? Alright. So there is the shaker card. So you can see that there's all the goodies. Tap them down. I used the Brutus Monroe printables online. I use the Brutus Monroe stamps here from the embossing powder and embossing ink. So you've got the embossing powder, and I also used the chalk ink to chalk up the edge of my word and around the frame, so to give a little bit of dimension to it. This is from the Brutus Monroe Mixed Media Pack. I thought it turned out really cute. Isn't it darling? You see somebody, you give that to them, and they could just put that out after you give that to them as a gift. It's a Halloween decoration, in my opinion. It doesn't have to be put away. So, hope you enjoyed this video of this card for Brutus Monroe products. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put those below, because I would love to hear from you. Love to see your projects, what you're making. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as Tumblr. I'd love to connect with you and hear about what you're doing as well. Thanks for watching my video today. Bye.